Was Harvey Weinstein the face of a broken industry, or the fall guy for something far more calculated? Because behind the headlines, beyond the horror stories, there's a version of events you probably haven't heard. One where jurors were allegedly intimidated, where deals were offered to make things disappear, and where the real villains may not be who you think. This isn't a video to defend anyone, but to expose the cracks in a system where justice, power, and media collide in ways that could ruin anyone. In a recent interview to Candace Owens, Harvey Weinstein says his trial was chaos. Nothing like the orderly, fair process we imagine from courtroom dramas. According to him, 3 different jurors raised concerns during the trial. One even refused to be in the same room with others. There were threats, tensions, even what he called playground tactics. Weinstein's legal team pleaded for a mistrial. He himself addressed the judge saying, "This is about courage. Something is radically wrong here." But the trial went on, and Harvey believes that was no accident. In Weinstein's words, Gloria Allred wasn't just a lawyer, she was the villain. He claims that when the accusations first surfaced, Allred approached his legal team with an offer, $750,000, and the key accuser, Mimi Haleyi, would vanish. He refused. According to Weinstein, that refusal came with a cost. Allred later made a deal with the district attorney, one that allegedly waived time limitations in exchange for testimony. And here's the twist. Weinstein had previously worked with Allred's daughter on a documentary. Weinstein isn't the only name floating in legal controversies. Candace Owens brought up Epstein, Diddy, Justin Baldoni, all recent cases with either shocking evidence or suspiciously light outcomes. Why, she asked, did Weinstein face such relentless pursuit? Meanwhile, others walked away with barely a scratch. Even when video footage existed, Weinstein didn't say yes or no, but he didn't need to. The message was clear. Some people get sacrificed, others get shielded. And who falls where might not depend on guilt, but on who they've angered. Few institutions in America are as untouchable as the New York Times. Weinstein calls them his real enemy, the publication that started the avalanche. He says they had infinite resources and acted like a modern gang. You pay us, you're fine. You don't, you're dead. He mentions a journalist named Clark Patterson, someone who's now investigating the New York Times' original coverage of Weinstein. According to Weinstein, Patterson uncovered major gaps, falsehoods, and narrative manipulation in their reporting. But there's been silence. No retraction, no accountability, just Pulitzer Prizes. Weinstein suggests something deeper, a motive no one is willing to talk about: ownership. After the scandal broke, his entire film library, some of the most valuable titles in Hollywood, was sold off. Who owns it now? One part, the Qatari government. The other, a Saudi-backed group. Weinstein never accused anyone directly, but he did ask the question, did someone want the company? He says he had no direct battles with studio heads, but the establishment never liked his success. He didn't play their game, and that may have made him expendable. Perhaps the most explosive part of Weinstein's defense is the mountain of emails he claims prove his innocence. Friendly messages, smiley faces, requests for party invites and tickets after the alleged assaults took place. He says some accusers built identities around being victims. Others were failed actresses who, when their careers didn't take off, turned to accusations. One woman, he claims, received $3 million from Disney, despite being the one jurors said was lying. Right now, Weinstein sits in Rikers Island, a place he calls medieval. He describes unhygienic conditions, violence, and even needing lawyers just to get a pillow. Meanwhile, his legal team is filing appeals, preparing for new trials, and, according to him, taking matters into their own hands. Weinstein has taken and passed multiple polygraph tests. On one accuser, he says, he scored the highest marks possible. There's even a trial happening in Italy. Not against him, but against one of the people who testified in his case, for perjury. Could that turn the tide? He's not sure, but he says he's not giving up. When asked what he'd do if released tomorrow, Weinstein's answer wasn't what you might expect. First, move near his kids. Second, maybe, just maybe, make movies again. Near the end of the interview, Weinstein drops what might be the most chilling claim of all. This was for the money, he says. He believes accusers were incentivized, that Gloria Allred profited off settlements, that even the DA had motivations beyond justice. He says he passed lie detector tests, cooperated with investigators, and still was taken down. Not because of guilt, he insists, but because he refused to pay. Weinstein doesn't pretend to be perfect. He admits he had power and misused it, that he chased women who only wanted to use him, and he let himself be used. How was I so weak? He asks, the oldest sin in the world. But he also wants people to remember the other side, the concerts he funded for 9/11 and Hurricane Sandy victims. the iconic movies. He hopes his legacy isn't just a cautionary tale, but a sign of how far media and power can reach when they choose a target. You don't have to like Harvey Weinstein, you don't even have to believe him, but what if the story is bigger than him? What if the real issue isn't guilt or innocence, but the way we decide who's guilty in the first place? Because if jurors can be intimidated, if payouts are offered to stop testimony, if media giants pick who to destroy, and if the public goes along without question, then no one, not even you, is safe from the next takedown.